Hey, Tom Hegna here with my 2020 economic commentary. If you look at the predictions of some of the smartest people out there, many people are predicting flat gains for the next 10 years or up 2% or down 2%. I know of nobody that's predicting that the market's going to go up 10% a year for the next 10 years. We've already had huge gains. And so you want to put some protection on your money, especially if you're close to retirement. If you're within 5 or 10 years of retirement, if you're in retirement, you better have some protection because look, short term is again, I say everything looks fine, but long term, we got some major problems. We're over $23 trillion in debt. We have about $200 trillion of unfunded obligation for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, government pensions, military pensions. Then there's all going to be all these pension bailouts that the government's going to have to provide. Another real warning sign is this repo market. It's kind of complicated, but this is where institutions lend to institutions. That market kind of went crazy in September, and the Fed has had to inject hundreds of billions of dollars of liquidity, which is weird because there's massive liquidity in the market, but not in certain pockets of the market. And this Fed repo issue could turn out to be a very big deal. I don't know, maybe it's no big deal, but it could be a huge deal, all right? And I would also tell you that the biggest risk I see right now for most baby boomers is sequence of returns risk. I don't want to minimize market risk. I don't want to minimize longevity risk or long-term care or any of the other risks. But I think the biggest risk right now for baby boomers is sequence of returns risk. Now, sequence of returns risk is why you can average 10% a year for 20 years and only take out 5% a year and go dead broke. Many people don't understand why that happens. And I'm not going to get into sequence of returns risk. You can look it up. It's basically if you lose money early in retirement, it can devastate your whole retirement, okay? But let me tell you why people don't understand it or don't, even if they have learned about it, they still don't get it. Here's why. I think we've all been taught that markets go up and down, but over time they always go up. Well, guess what? That's great if you're in your 20s and 30s, you close your eyes, you dollar cost average in the market, you wake up on your 65th birthday, you're rich, it works. Guess what? It doesn't work when you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. Do you know why? Because it is no longer dollar cost averaging. It is now dollar cost ravaging. You see, let's say you don't believe me. I'm going to be I got a great broker. I'm going to have a diversified portfolio. I'm going to take money out of there. I'm in dividend paying stocks. I'm going to be fine. I'm here to tell you you're not going to be fine, but let me show you why. As long as the market's going up, that will work. But as soon as the market starts going down, guess what you have to do? You have to take out more and more and more. And when the market goes back up, none of that grows back because you just took it out and spent it. And then the market goes down and you got to take out more and more and more. And when the market goes back up, none of that grows back because you just took it out and spent it. And all it takes is a couple of those dips early in retirement where it can cause your portfolio to go into a death spiral that you'll never come out of. The other reason people don't understand sequence of returns is they say, I'm going to wait it out. I don't panic. It's always worked in the past. The market has always come back. I close my eyes. I ignore it. The market all comes back. Well, number one, that's pretty hard to do in retirement if you're supposed to be living off of these assets, okay? But number two, the reason is, here's the deal. Do you remember the 1980s? 1980s had Honda, Toyota, Japan. The Japanese stock market was hitting all-time record highs day after day after day. Japan bought Pebble Beach. They bought Rockefeller Center. Time magazine said Japan is taking over the world. Does anybody remember the 1980s? Well, think about that poor 65-year-old Japanese guy. He was taught the same thing we were taught. The markets go up and down, but over time they always go up. He had a diversified portfolio. He had a great broker. And guess what? He retired. The market crashed. Does anybody know how long the Japanese stock market has been down? Over 30 years. The guy's 95. The market never came back. Hey, let me ask you a question. How do you think his retirement went? I got news for you. He never made it to 95. He dropped dead by age 70 from the stress of losing his money. Does anybody know that the European stock market has been down for over 20 years? What about emerging markets? Oh, that's supposed to outperform everything. It's been down over 10 years. I am telling you, Americans have no idea how far this market can fall and how long it can stay down. Now, Jeffrey Gundlach was on CNBC just a week or so ago, all right? And he's one of the smartest bond guys in the entire world. You know what he said? The next time the market crashes in America, it will likely not return for the rest of his career, maybe for the rest of his life. Think about that. How would your retirement go if the market went down 40, 50, 60% and stayed down for 20 or 30 years? How good would your retirement be? And is that what you want your retirement to be? Look, I've written multiple books. My first book, Paychecks and Playchecks, kind of a classic. I want a guaranteed paycheck to at least cover my basic living expenses, but then I want some guaranteed playchecks too, because I don't want to be not being able to play golf or go on that trip if the market takes a crash. Look, I have some money in the stock market. I do, but not serious amounts of money in the stock market. My serious amounts of money are in annuities and life insurance. Why? Because I'm protected. I'm protected if the market falls. I'm protected if taxes go up because money in life insurance can come out income tax free. I'm protected from creditors in the state of Arizona. If somebody tried to sue me, look, I get in front of hundreds of thousands of people every year. There's wackos everywhere. Somebody tries to sue me, they're going to get nothing, because my money is protected. So my message today is that, yes, short term, the economy looks great. The market looks great, but that's exactly the time when you need to start taking some profits, locking in some gains, or putting some guarantees into your portfolio. Look, I want to make as much as I can make, but just as important, I don't want to lose what I've already got. And I don't think that's much different than what many of you are thinking. And that is my economic commentary for 2020. Let's have a great year.